So now we are going to start our next topic, that is about the digestion. That is how the process of digestion takes place in the human body, what we eat, how it passes, what it acts, and what are the functions of the different parts of the body that takes place in the digestion process. So starting from the food we eat that we put through our hand into the mouth is what that is the first one, that is the ingestion. It is given by a scientific term called as the ingestion, that is swallowing of food, from where the food is passed to the other part of the body. The food that is present in the mouth is either, it can be tasted either that is sweet or sour or like what. Then it can also be seen that either that food part is big or small, because to swallow that it should be in the smaller size. So it can be chewed by sharp teeth, and through by swallowing by the churning, by the process of churning, that is the chewing of the food, the small pieces of the food is then passed to the esophagus. But the food plus saliva makes a paste. That paste is called as the bolus, and that bolus is easy for the esophagus to pass. That is why it can be chewed and by the process, and also the saliva is added that causes the lubrication. So it is another fact that when we say that after seeing some tasty things that of mouth is watering, that actually what is meant by that watering, that doesn't mean that some sort of water is coming out. That means that is actually the saliva which is secreted by the salivary glands present below the tongue. These salivary glands secrete the saliva, and as a result what happened, the food is that also help in the breakdown of food and also to pass through the esophagus easily. So the food is broken down and converted into the small molecules in the utilizable form by the body. So the procedure of breaking down is called as the digestion. So from here, let's go back towards the mouth, because the process of digestion starts from the mouth where the saliva is present. So what happened here, that the saliva that contains an enzyme amylase. This helps the saliva, it also, the starch is present in the cookie, and the starch is break down into the glucose. So the salivary amylase helps in the semi-digestion of the starch. And then the different food particles contain different things, and all the food components are not digested by the amylase alone. Therefore, digestion is not completed in the mouth. So food is pushed in through the esophagus or alimentary canal, and that is by the contraction or expansion, and then contraction plus expansion is called as the peristalsis. After peristalsis, the food reaches to the other organ that is J-shaped, and this organ is called as the stomach. So here the food is there is the contraction, here the stomach expands, and food stays in the stomach for about 3 hours. It has two different parts. The first part is called as the pyloric sphincter and cardiac sphincter, and that is near to the heart. That is why it is called as the cardiac sphincter, while the other portion is called as the pyloric sphincter, and it joins the stomach with the small intestine. So when food enters into the stomach, the gastric glands found into the stomach wall are stimulated to secrete gastric juice. This gastric juice is composed of mucus, hydrochloric acid, and a protein digesting enzymes. There is a fun fact that as we talked about the acidity in the stomach, so what is meant by this acidity in the stomach? This acid, the hydrochloric acid, is present in the stomach that causes that actually helps the digestion of the food. So hydrochloric acid converts the inactive enzymes into the active ones. So sometimes it is being it gives the chest burns, it gives the sore bumps. So the gastric juice contains the hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid sometimes causing the acidity into the stomach, and that is why we feel that our stomach is burning, chest is burning. And along with it, this acidity also causes the burps, and the pepsin is also present in the gastric juice. Pepsin helps in the breakdown of proteins, and the hydrochloric converts the inactive enzyme pepsinogen into its active form, that is pepsin. So the pepsin breaks down proteins only in the acidic environment. There is another advantage of this acidic environment is that sometimes we eat some microorganisms, some bacteria through our food. So this acidic medium helps to kill those bacteria. So when we talk about the acidity, it seems something scary. So it is actually for the stomach, it is not, because the stomach wall have a small covering that is called as mucus, and this mucus protects the stomach from the acid. It is a slimy and sticky substance. It saves the stomach from the acid. In the stomach, food is partially digested, and from here it passes towards the small intestine. Before that, what happened, the breakdown of food that takes place in the stomach is called as the churning, and it gets converted to the soup-like substance that is called as the chyme. After going the duodenum, the duodenum has the three parts: the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Duodenum further has three parts, that is the bile, pancreatic juice, and intestinal juice. So inside the intestine, what happens? The intestine is an alkaline environment. This is the small intestine is totally opposite to the acid. It is coiled and compact, and it has a small inner diameter that is 2.5 to 3 centimeter, in which the duodenum is about 10 inches, that is 25 centimeter. Then the other part, that is duodenum, is 2.4 meters, and ileum is 3.5 meters long. Then the bile is secreted, that makes the intestine alkaline, and this is secreted from the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and then passes to the intestine. Along with it, the trypsin enzyme is being secreted through the pancreas, and this trypsin enzymes help in further the digestion of food. So pancreas secreted trypsin that digests the fats that are present in the food. Then this food is passed into the body, and there are small villi present here through the capillaries, and through which the nutrients are actually already absorbed into through the intestine, and the digested molecules, simple sugars, and amino acids are absorbed from intestine into the blood capillaries. So the process of absorption occurs, and all the nutrients are being absorbed here. After that, this bolus, it contains the villi that are the hair-like filaments. These hair-like filaments help in the digestion and also the absorption. So the blood carries them away from small intestine through the hepatic portal vein, goes to the liver for filtering. So nutrients absorbed by small intestine then enters into the bloodstream, and blood transported to the entire body. So here the blood is present, obviously that is passing from all the body parts, the capillaries are present, so the nutrients assimilated into our cells, that is passing not through some veins or something, it is assimilated. So there is the process of assimilation, and through which the energy is produced. The energy we get after eating the food is by this process. Okay, then the food that is already almost digested into the small intestine. So that means still there are some food which is not digested. So from where it passes towards the large intestine. So large intestine, after digested products of our bite have been absorbed into the blood, the remaining mass enters large intestine. It has three parts: cecum, colon and rectum. So water content is absorbed by the walls and then it is excreted out through the anus in the form of stool or feces. So feces are actually temporarily stored into the rectum, then over to the anus. This is egestion, that is act of passing stool. This is all about the process of digestion. This is the whole process: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and ejection.